Good morning. Welcome to the Pitch Strike Chronicles. I am Uncle Tats. I am here with Rob. I'm so frustrated. I almost forgot what day of the week it was. But happy Wednesday, everybody. And listen, I am so frustrated with the way this team is operating right now, top to bottom. Enough is enough. I understand that we're playing teams that are hot, but we were supposed to be the favorites of this fucking league in the American League, and we have done absolute shit to actually prove what everybody was saying, that this was the team, it's the Yankees division, and everybody else is just a part of it watching from the sidelines. Well, the Yankees are on the verge of getting swept for the second straight series and finding themselves out of a playoff spot. And there is no sign that the Yankees are going to fix anything because our manager has no backbone. The GM is just peddling for this guy, saying that Boone is the best thing since sliced bread, which is one of the stupidest analogies I've ever heard, by the way. But that's for an after dark topic. This cannot go on anymore. Boone, what do you do? Stop acting like everything is right in front of us. It's not. Every other team is in front of us right now. Why do we have to sit and suffer through this shit? I can't take it anymore. I've always tried to be the optimistic one. I can't. This to be in the playoffs at this point. It's almost like it's satisfaction that the ineptitude of this organization is coming back to bite itself in the ass. After all the excitement from the trade deadline of a beefed up bullpen that fucking can't get out of their own way. I can't, Rob. Am I wrong for being so freaking aggravated about this? And it's not even, look, you get beat by a good team. As long as you're competitive, sometimes we can say, it was a tough loss, but teams lose. But this is to another level.
I don't even know how. Like, should I be mad? Yeah. Am I? Yeah. But I kind of not showing it because I'm used to it. You know, we're used to this team. Part. Right. We're used to blowing division leads, but it never got to a point where they actually did blow the lead to where they're actually falling out of a playoff spot. This is probably the worst collapse I've ever seen by a Yankee team, because usually they find a way to, right before disaster, correct it and end up winning enough games to get to the division title or make it to the playoffs. And they still could make the playoffs, but it just feels like an afterthought right now. Like, are they going to do anything? Because they're so poorly run. And the Devin Williams stuff, like it just kind of like right at the forefront, like Aaron Boone 2 nights in a row going to the same guy that has given up a run in like 4 straight appearances. He's given up like earned runs in I think pretty much every appearance he's had in the last count, like almost the last like 10 games he's given up a run in about 6 or 7 of them. And he still keeps going. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you in the chat. It's frustrating, man. And this is why I said during a show this offseason, I don't want them to extend Boone. I don't even want them to give him an extra year, because you got to see what he's about in his final season. See what he's about when he has a little pressure on him. Having that security blanket, so to speak, of an extra year would have allowed this to happen, and he would still be back. They're not going to fire him. They don't fire people mid-season. And this is what happens. Like, we're free falling at an epic rate, and nothing seems to get better. It seems to get worse every single game, and they're bad. There's the bad team, and I don't get it, because the roster, even without Judge, is still good enough to win more games, and they're finding new ways to blow it. That first game against Miami, you're thinking, like, how is that even possible? All 4 acquisitions find a way to screw up. And that's partially on Boone, because, like, the game has a pulse, and we say this all the time. Yep. You see Bird, who I was completely wrong about. He comes out, gives up a grand slam. Then Bednar gives up the tying home run. Don't go to Doval, right? Have a little superstition on you. Be a little bit crazy and think that there's something superstitious going on here. Go to Weaver. Go to Williams in that spot. Go to the two guys you've had all season because the game has a pulse. And Doval blows it, Caballero blows it in the outfield, and you lose a game in epic fashion. The second game they can't hit. The third game, the Marlins just kicked our ass. And you look at this Texas series. They have a lead. Fried can't get the job done, and they blow that. Devin Williams blows it. And then last night, they can't hit, and then they can't score at all. And then Dominguez can't play left field. Williams can't pitch. It's just like, but Aaron Boone keeps, it keeps falling apart. And Aaron Boone just keeps doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And it's right in front of us. And he's defeated. The team looks defeated. They look like they don't know what the answers are. And as a fan, I can't sit back and scream about it because if they don't care, I'm not going to care. And it's a damn shame that I feel this way, but
I'll scream it up to both of us. Don't worry, I got you.
Frustrating.
It is, and you know we have freaking after the deadline. They kept asking about all the closers they brought in with Doval and Bednar, and you know here we went from starting the season going who's going to be before Williams got here. We had and Weaver. Let's not forget him as a closer, But I still believe he's been battling some injuries. We may have been wrong about Bird, because he was somebody we thought would just, maybe take Loizaga's spot as kind of like that guy to get to the back end of the bullpen, and he already got optioned down. And it's just a complete inept. One of the things, and what's going on, Don? Let's see you sneaking in. One of the problems is the fact that they try spitting this stupid narrative that there's nothing wrong, that it's just a funk, it's just a slump. It's not a slump. It's completely shit baseball that you're playing, and nobody wants to make any adjustments because why? When you do something wrong and your parent doesn't punish you for it, you think it's okay. So you're just going to keep doing the same things over and over again because there's no consequences to your mistakes. All right? Take this from a parent. You don't nip it in the bud right away. It's going to keep happening. And Boone is that parent that should not be a parent. He should not be a manager of this team. I don't care who comes in. Make Brad Ausmus the manager. Shake it up a little bit. His voice doesn't carry anymore. He has lost not only games, but I think he has completely lost his locker room. I don't care how much the players want to say they love him. No professional athlete, no amateur athlete likes to lose and make excuses for themselves more than the Yankees do this season. Because it's all coming to a head. Enough is enough is enough. Get Boone out of that fucking the dugout and bring somebody in that actually has a fucking pair of stones to say, look, you make a mistake like that, Jazz, you're sitting the next game. I don't care if you're batting 1,000. You make that mistake, you're done. Sit down. I understand this generation doesn't understand that there are no more Billy Martins in this league. I get it. Times are evolving. But for the Yankees, this season, they're evolving in the wrong direction. Enough is enough. Make a change, Cashman. Hal, where are you, Hal? Where are you? With your $300 million payroll that you don't need to go over because this is already a team built to win. He's asleep at the fucking wheel. He's at his villa in Italy. He got us, what are you doing? This organization from top to bottom is completely falling apart, and I have to lose my mind and I have to lose my temper because nobody else in an organization will. Donald, how you doing?
Great to see Uncle Tat's on fire, man. I've been waiting to see some angry Uncle Tats, and it's
Donald, I can't take it no more.
No, and nor should you, because this is a disgrace. This organization, top to bottom, is broken. So let's go through how each person is culpable, because although I think Aaron Boone is mostly the problem, and he needs to be removed immediately. But everybody has their own culpability. Hal Steinbrenner sets the tone. He's the owner. He's absent. He's an absentee owner. I don't know where he is. I mean, I should be expecting to hear from my owner right now. Even a statement, any kind of statement, anything, please, just to indicate that you're aware of what's going on right now. But his silence speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. He sets the tone. He's not there, right? No accountability, right? Brian Cashman. Now he's getting a lot of credit right now, Brian Cashman, because we had a big deadline. Thing is, he wouldn't have needed to have a massively big deadline had he actually done the work in the off season in the winter when all these moves needed to have been made. All of us here said there's not enough swing and miss out of this bullpen. There's not enough swing and miss out of this bullpen. We said this in the winter. Brian Cashman sat in his hands, did nothing. That was the time to bring in swing and miss. So you wouldn't have had to have given up all these prospects, which we've just given up now, in order to try and bring in some swing and miss. Right? Maybe had he actually read the room and said, you know what, maybe we do need a third baseman. In the winter, we wouldn't have had to have made the move last minute at the deadline. They don't have a philosophy, and that starts with Brian Cashman. They do not have a philosophy. Now he had to give up Rock Reggio, who's a very good prospect, for a Bird who's already just imploded. And I hated that trade at the time. I hated it. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. Now, maybe Bird might come around next season. I don't know. But at the moment, that looks like a mega bust, right? Because Rock Reggio is a good prospect, and they just traded him for a guy with a 5+ ERA in Colorado. Come on. So I didn't like that. He's giving up prospects left, right, and center. Then another thing, you saw what Ramirez did to us. You've seen what these guys are doing to us, man. We're getting roasted left, right, and center by Marlins, by Rangers. Doesn't matter. We're getting roasted. So Brian Cashman didn't read this team properly, and he's paying the price, right? And also, by the way, he hired Aaron Boone. He's the one that hired him, right? He's the one that changed this philosophy of no accountability. So that's Brian Cashman's culpability there. But Aaron Boone, really, to be honest, he's the one that just truly is sinking this shit. He's the one that's sinking this shit right now. It's true. It's because he keeps going to Williams. He keeps going to Williams in a big spot. Keeps going to Williams. Every single big game, I'm going to Williams. Why? Because he prioritizes Williams' feelings over the Yankees' best interests. He keeps doing it. And the Yankees keep losing. I guess he doesn't pay attention to the postgame because Williams himself said things have not been going well for a while. And he was not talking just about himself. He was talking about the team. Sounds to me like Williams is pretty much aware that there's a locker room problem and a Yankee problem and an organizational problem. What did Ben Rice say? You know, we could probably do with a little bit of urgency in this team. Ben Rice said that himself. There is no urgency. There's no accountability. And you listen to Aaron Boone, and by the way, he sounds broken right now, Aaron Boone. I actually haven't heard Aaron Boone sound so defeated. He sounds defeated. Normally by now he would be saying some kind of nonsense where he's beating on a table, saying it's just around the corner, we're the best team in baseball. All these lies. It's all ran out because he knows the game is up. He knows his game is up. And Brian Cashman having that mega deadline where he's now got 5 closers to choose from is the worst possible thing that could have happened to Aaron Boone. Because now Boone's game is up. His jig is up. He's got no more excuses. He has no idea what to do with the bullpen. He's been handed a mega bullpen, whether I love the moves or not. He's been handed 5 closers to choose from, and he chooses the wrong fucking one every single night. That's because it's Aaron Boone. This team has no accountability, and they follow his lead. He's just like, everything's fine, so everyone else follows him, including Aaron Judge, by the way. Everyone's just like, oh, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh, I'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's not fucking fine. It's
yeah, we got to play better. No shit.
Yeah.
You're right about Boone sounding defeated, and this whole team looks like you can read body language.
Yeah.
And you can tell clearly that this team is broken. I'll take it back to, I'm wearing a Giants hat and a shirt. Remember Joe Judge, how much they liked him in year 1? And then year 2, you saw that locker room had given up on him. So you can see that right now with the Yankees. They look like whatever message Boone is trying to send to them, they're starting to finally be like, you know what, this is a load of bullshit, because it's not all okay. Because now you have Ben Rice saying, hey, we need a little urgency. Even Aaron Boone himself was on Talking Yanks like, I kind of agree with that take. Like he's not fighting back against John Boy and Jake anymore. Usually he'd be screaming at them like, how do you say that? But now he's kind of like, I agree with you. I agree. He sounds defeated. You're right. So the jig is up. This is why I said during the offseason, and Donald, it was you and I on a show, I said, I'm not giving him an extra year. Not even an extra year extension. No. Because you need to see what he's about with the pressure on him. And I wish they would have listened to me, because they probably could have let him go by now. But now I don't think they will, because it's going to be a bad look for them. None of us would care if they fired him right now, but the Yankees are going to be like, that's probably a bad look. You give a guy an extension, then you fire him midseason. His message ran out 5 years ago. His message was falling on flat ears 5 years ago. Tatch, you're wearing the shirt that says fucking Savages on it. That was the last time that Aaron Boone said anything that maybe resonated with people. The banging on tables, it's right in front of us. Turn the corner, turn the page. We're hell-bent on winning. Are you? Because if you were hell-bent on winning, you wouldn't have lost 5 straight games against 2 teams that you should not be losing to. I know the Rangers are a decent team, but we should at least be able to beat them once. We have no business being swept by the Marlins. I know they're on a hot streak, but to get swept by a team that was below 500, that's never swept you before, is disgusting. What's happening right now for the Yankees is disgusting. It is an epic collapse, monumental collapse that we have not seen from this team before. We didn't see it during the dynasty. Never, not even during the mid-2000s, they didn't collapse like this. When those teams weren't even as good as the 90s teams, but they didn't collapse like this. So yeah, it's not all on Aaron Boone, but he's kind of the poster child for it, because his message is what the players are echoing. Oh, we'll be fine. When Jazz said he would do it again, and then Boone was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I see the point. Or when they said, why did you send Rojas? Oh, a little aggressive, but I see what he was trying to do. They don't care. There's zero accountability. He got more mad at the first base coach than he did at Jazz Chisum. He took Jazz into the dugout. He screamed at the first base coach for everyone to see. Not a single... Luis Rojas should not even be on a minor league coaching staff right now, but he's been the Yankees' third base coach for multiple years, and he stinks at his job. Zero accountability there. And this is why fans, while we know it's not all on Aaron Boone. Trust me, we know it's not all on Aaron Boone. This is why we all scream for his job to be taken away, because it would at least signal that maybe the Yankees are thinking about changing their ways. What else did I say during the offseason? I'll repeat myself again. The biggest changes they could make weren't with the roster necessarily, it was internally. Because if they change internally, that would mean they're going to change the way they are on the field, and you would probably see a better product. They didn't do that. Same manager, same coaching staff, same analytics staff, same GM, and the same nonsense that starts in the month of June. It's only lasting longer this time. It's been almost 2 full months of this brand of baseball. They're below 500. They blew a 7-game lead. They're now 1 game away from falling out of a playoff spot. That's how bad it is. And the Yankees are just now, what did Aaron Boone say? Oh, it's gut check time. Why wasn't it gut check time when you got swept by Boston, when you got swept by Toronto, when you lost to Tampa, when you were losing to your division opponents and your lead was dwindling? Why wasn't it gut check time then? It's gut check time now that you lost to Miami? Now it's gut check time? This is why we're mad. This is why we all say the same thing. Every Yankee fan's like, fire Boone, even though it's not all his fault, because we're sick of the nonsense. No other manager in baseball would say, oh, it's gut check time now. Why now? Why not in June when you made the decision to take your second baseman who was playing at a Gold Glove level and move him to third? Completely erasing your philosophy in the offseason, which was run prevention. Let's make it worse. Let's make the team that was in first place, had one of the best records in baseball, and make it worse. That's what Aaron Boone did. And I'm supposed to believe him now that he says it's gut check time? Gut check time to him is bringing in Devin Williams for 2 straight games to blow it? That's gut check? You fucking idiot. What are we doing here? And we're supposed to sit back and watch it and be like, yeah, well, yeah, he's right. They'll turn it around. What's going to happen if they do make the playoffs? They're going to lose.
Oh, yeah.
And I try my best over the last few years, even in the middle of collapses, to be like, I think when you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. Now, the way this team is run, who cares if they have a super bullpen? You can have 9 different Mariano Riveras in your bullpen. Aaron Boone would find a way to bring in the wrong Rivera. Like, that's how bad it is. He would bring in the Rivera that's struggling a little bit. Like, though, this Rivera's cutter is a little bit less in spin. I'm going to bring him in instead of the one that's gotten, like, 6 straight scoreless outings. That's what he would do. And it sounds crazy, but that's the truth. He finds a way to bring in the wrong one. The first game, he had, like I said earlier, how do you go to all 3?
He's got 8 Mariano Riveras and he's got 1 Kyle Farnsworth. He'll go to Kyle Farnsworth.
He would go to Kyle Farnsworth, absolutely, because the other 8 Riveras are a little bit gassed, so we'd have to go to Farnsworth, who's a little bit fresh. And it's just, again, he doesn't have a feel for the games. Like I said earlier, going to Doval after your other 2 acquisitions blew it means you have no feel for the game. And then you see the next day they were all better.
Yep.
Doval, his last couple of outings have been better. Bednar has been better. Jake Bird, no. But even, like, you look at Doval and you look at Bednar, their first game, and you go to all 3 of them, they haven't worked with these catchers before. They're thrown into a pressure cooker, and, well, don't blow it. And they blew it. And it's just, this is what we deal with on a yearly basis, but this is the worst it's ever been. And we're 8 years now into his tenure, and it seems like just finally now the locker room is starting to catch on to his bullshit. And it's 8 years too late because they should have never have hired him in the first place. I don't disagree with them letting Girardi walk, but not hiring an actual manager in place and going with the guy who was imitating batting stances on ESPN for a full season, that's where they made their mistake. You let 2 perfectly good candidates leave with Girardi in Pena and Thompson. You had other candidates like Hensley Mullins who you could have hired. Instead, you went with the ESPN analyst. And 8 years later, we're still screaming that this guy should not be the manager of the New York Yankees.
Yeah, it's almost like with the trade deadline, they were in such a rush to show off their shiny new toys. They took it right out of the box and they put them on the field without finishing the assembly. Like, how about giving them a day to at least, like you said, work with the catches? They didn't have to get right into a game. You already had a bullpen that was rested. There was no rush. But no, the script was already written. And yes, it's not always Boone's fault. They sit before every game. All right, if the pitcher goes this many innings, this is when we're going to bring these guys in. You know, and that's already planned out, right? There's no secret in that. That's how I think a lot of teams operate. But Boone doesn't know how, he just can't completely, go, you know what? My baseball instinct says, let's do it this way, because he's going to get in trouble if he goes off the script. He's got no, that's what I'm saying. That's why I want to get rid of Boone. He's got no backbone. He can't stand up to the organization going, hey, this is my managing reputation on the line. Because this is my first job that he's had forever. And he can't stand up, he can't go after his players because he'll get in trouble. So Boone's stuck in a fucking hard place. If I was Boone, I would have quit. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm out of here. Because the Yankee lore that I had when I hit that home run off of Wakefield is completely gone now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because there are fans that are saying they wish he never hit that home run. I've said it. That was probably the most punishing home run that the Yankees have ever hit. Because look, this is what we have now. I would have rather just been like, all right, it was because nobody would care if it was Boone that did not hit the home run. If he would have failed in that spot, we were expecting it. We were waiting for it. But I think that the biggest problem is the fact that they were in such a rush to get these guys in. And then the guy, they bring in Caballero. He gets the stolen base. He gets the RBI. He gets the run scored. We're feeling good. All right. So some common sense base running that was effective. Finally, somebody knows how to run a base. Then they put him in right field with the right fielder on the bench.
He's a shortstop. Exactly.
I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What were you waiting for? And Slater, he's hurt now, I think. He pulled a hamstring.
His hamstring.
I'm like, so you're already down two of the guys you traded for that we were actually excited about. I'm afraid to get excited about any other further moves until we see them play.
Do you know
I think the Vol and Bednar will figure it out. Because even Bird, right? He said he admitted in an interview he was nervous about the trade deadline because his gut told him he was getting moved somewhere. So he had very little sleep, caught the red eye to meet with the team in Miami, barely slept, and they threw him right on a mound in a game. He goes, I was tired. I was just mentally drained. I was doing my best just to not, and he failed.
That's definitely part of it, but I mean, this dude is actually
at least he was honest about, why he fucked, not. Well, I didn't have the right command. It was, I'm not used to this situation.
Speaks more to Boone's decision to put him in the game, knowing the dude just flew over here.
Yeah,
and put him in a pressure cooker. Even though the lead was 9-4 at the time, but I'm not excusing him because I said I think it's gonna be a good trade. I feel like an idiot because 2 games in, I'm like, fuck this guy. So it's like, yeah, but again, maybe
the trade was made. I was like, oh no, I hate this guy. Yeah,
you immediately text me that you didn't like it, and I was just like, nah, maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe I should listen to Donald more. But no, you're right. Maybe at some point Jake Berg will be a little bit better. Maybe. Who knows? We don't know yet. But it doesn't change the fact that Boone used that bullpen horrifically. In their first game, he used it horrifically. And that speaks volumes to everything we've been saying about the guy. What did we say when they made the trades? What did you say, Donald? He'll find a way to... I can't wait to see how he finds a way to fuck it up. Took him 1 day. Took him 1 day. And he found a way to fuck it up. So maybe we are right sometimes. We're not just a bunch of screaming idiots that we're a Yankee heads. Maybe we know what we're talking about because we've been watching this fool do this for 8 straight years now. 7.5, whatever it is. But we've been watching him doing it in different ways for 7.5 seasons. So maybe we know a little bit here because when you watch something enough, you know how it's going to end. It's like watching the same movie over and over. I can only watch Friday the 13th so many times before I know how it ends. I know how this fucking horror story ends, with the Yankees finding a way to sneak into the playoffs and embarrassing themselves. That's how it's going to end.
So, for me, what really showed that this thing was cooked, right, was Aaron Boone screaming at the first base coach for Jazz Chisum's mental lapse.
That was embarrassing.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, this thing's done. This is over. Like, he's lost his credibility. What's that, Ben? What's that?
I said of all guys to yell at.
Exactly. He lost his credibility. And it says to me that this culture is completely cooked. It's broken. Because if you were that afraid to call out a player who's doing something ridiculous just to keep their feelings intact, there is a problem. and then you're blaming the first base coach? I mean, come on. Come on. Listen to what Jazz Chisum said after the game. He said, "Oh, I've played here before. I'm trying to make a play. I would do it again." So, Aaron Boone should have listened to those comments post-game, and then any even questions as to whether he should bench him should have been thrown out the window and immediately benched him for that, because A, the decision-making was awful. B, no accountability. But instead, Aaron Boone defends him. And what did Aaron Boone say after that? He's like, "Oh, it was out of thoughtfulness. Thoughtfulness. That's what Jazz was doing. It was thoughtful. Thoughtfulness. Well, he was just standing in between first and second while there's a pop-up. Like 5 feet from him. What's going to happen
That's
here?"
first after getting how many outs there are.
Right. And then the game before, how many outs were there? Austin Wells.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm tired. I'm going to go to the dugout. I know, fuck knows how many outs there are. I'm just going to head to the dugout. That's just where we're at.
And Jazz said he knew he would beat the throw. He said he would beat Edwards to the bag. And I'm like, he was like 10 feet away from first, and Edwards dropped the ball right in front of second. You're going to beat him? And Aaron Boone goes, "Yeah, do it again.
Do it again. It's fine." Instead, he screamed at the first base coach. So if that's what, but even there's the contradiction in itself. So Aaron Boone's denying there's a problem, yet there is obviously a problem because you're screaming at the first base coach, right? So if he's denying that Jazz Chisum did anything wrong, yet he's still screaming at the first base coach, well, what are you screaming at then, right? No accountability. You have no idea what you're doing. You've lost this locker room. You have lost everything. You've lost credibility. Unfortunately, the only talking heads that still listen to you is the captain, Brian Cashman. And those are the only two people that fucking matter. Hal Steinbrenner's asleep. He doesn't give a fuck. Right? But you know how much Aaron Judge adores you because your guys are like buddies, essentially. And Brian Cashman's not dumb. His decision-making's dumb, but he is not dumb. He knows fine that if he fires Aaron Boone, it's a direct reflection on him. Yep. And then he has got no protection.
And that's why if Hal fires Cashman, it's a reflection of Hal. It's
exactly. Aaron Boone is like bulletproof vest. That's who Aaron Boone is, right? Everything that you see on the field is a result of Brian Cashman. And I want to, we've not spoken to the chat enough, so that's going to be the next thing that we're going to do.
Yeah, we'll look at some comments.
But because a lot of great comments here, and we've got tons of people in the chat. But Luca had a very good point here. We're talking about the horrendous Joey Gallo trade. Luca pointed out the horrendous Joey Gallo trade. And by the way, it's still paying off very well for the Rangers because they've got some productive members on the field. But that speaks again to Brian Cashman's lack of philosophy, lack of vision. And this has been a reoccurring problem. And we're flying through catchers now in the system. I know we create catchers, but we are flying through them in the system. And you can make the argument that the worst catcher that is in the organization is the Yankees starting catcher. Austin Wells has been hot garbage since last August. It's been a year of this. And we keep excusing him because he does these cool videos on Hot Wings or whatever. I don't know what he fucking does, but everybody loves him. Right?
Around the world.
But is it because his personality? Is it because his vibe? Or is it because his productivity on the field? Because his productivity in the field is absolutely nothing.
He's definitely having a terrible sophomore year.
He's having an awful year. The Marlins have the Yankees' best catcher, and then Brian Cashman's now traded our eighth best prospect.
And the second best is in Boston.
And the second best is in Boston, and now we've just traded away our top 10 prospect. Brian Cashman is flying through catchers in the system in order to protect Austin fucking Wells, who didn't even know how many outs there were. He's like, oh yeah, I was just being an idiot. Oh, all right, at least you're being semi-accountable, but not a great sign. So everything is broken, and they desperately need a new manager that can at least, bare minimum, manage them. I think Jazz Chisum could be a star with management, not with, help, buddy, let's give you a hug. Oh, yeah, I know you did something ridiculous, but it doesn't matter. We love you. You know, how about if you manage him? Right? Manage him. Austin Wells needs management. Volpe needs management. These dudes need management. Dominguez needs management. You need to manage these players. Manage them. Not just go, everything's great. We all love each other. Barney the friendly dinosaur. It doesn't work anymore. These are adults. These are men in the most competitive industry in the world. Sports is incredibly competitive because there's always somebody coming through to take your job. But Brian Cashman has done the opposite, where he's just like, it's not competitive. Everybody wins just by competing. And that's just bullshit.
No, go ahead, Rob.
You're right, because they're adults. Even children would know not to do something twice if it meant the first time got there. Like if my nephew jumped off a 5-foot box or something and hurt himself, he probably wouldn't get back on that box. And well, my nephew's an idiot, but he might do it again. But most of the time he would do it, so he wouldn't do it. The kids would know, like, that fucking hurt. I'm not gonna get back on that box and jump. But these guys are like encouraged to do the same mistake again. So it's like if I saw my nephew jump and hurt himself, like, do it, land on your feet this time, you'll be okay. It's just a head injury. But Jazz Chisum fucking falls asleep. Do it again, Jazz. Do it again. Austin Wells or Anthony Volpe steals third. Do it again, Anthony. Do it.
It might not hurt the next time. You never know.
Yeah, you can do it. Don't worry. It's like we're coddling them worse than we coddle children. It's unbelievable, and this is what we're stuck with, man. And there's only so many times we can say it before we all just, it's one collective agreement that we're sick of it. And it needs to be like wiped top to bottom. And we've been saying this for years. I don't hate Brian. I don't even hate Aaron Boone. I don't even hate Aaron Boone. We've been wanting an entire plunge of this front office for years now, because there's proof of it on this show. We said it, that they need to just get a whole new operation, and that starts with the GM. The GM, his assistants, the analytical staff, the coaching staff, it all needed to change years ago. And again, I don't hate Boone. I don't hate Brian Cashman. But this change was necessary, and this is what we're stuck with because they feel like their way is still the best way in baseball. It's not. It's really not. And I don't even think it's an analytical thing because launch angle still matters, Frank. But you're right. Maybe they do need to mix it more instead of relying on just one full thing. Because the good teams in baseball, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Blue Jays, they don't just go old school. They mix it. They mix analytics and the old school way. How did the Braves win a championship a few years ago? They mixed it. But the Yankees don't do that. So they feel like they're still the best team in baseball. And their way is the best way to do it. And what did Boone say? The league's catching up to us? What is it now? We're lapped. We're going backwards. And the screen is telling us wrong way, and they don't want to listen.
Tats, this is your opportunity to bring back the quote that made me laugh.
So, yeah, and well, there's so many. But the newest one that I gave you at the game, that's because they're the smartest ones in the room when they're by themselves. That's the only time they're the smartest ones in the room when nobody is around. Because that's just the way this team is. Nothing to see here. It's like that meme with the cartoon character, surrounded by the fire, just sitting there reading a book. Like that's the Yankees right now. And it's absolutely embarrassing. And the worst part is, it's getting the fans to just come up with these stupid, points of view. Did you see? Because this is really irking, and I really want to spend a lot of time towards the end of the show just going through these comments because you guys are on fire. Mm-hmm. But I do have to bring this up first. The people that were pissed off because Stanton was not in the lineup because Judge was back. Why are you sitting Stanton? He's the hot bat. I don't know if you guys caught that as well. Like, what the hell is wrong with you people? We understand. Look, we all want Stanton's hot bat. It comes in spurts. You don't want, but you're going to bench Judge to keep Stanton in the lineup. And we are the biggest, probably the one show that's the biggest Stanton supporters ever. So just, for us to say this, there's a problem. Like,
what I will say about that is I don't think it was actually a step in the right direction because all you're doing is just taking out one great bat to put in another. I mean, that's basically what it was. Stanton's your only hot bat right now. You just took him out.
Well,
to put in Aaron Judge, who's been out of the game for a while. I would almost have preferred to wait until Aaron Judge was fully ready to go in the outfield.
Yeah. Well, that's where I was going to go. Why did we have to force him back into the lineup? And it's weird to say because it's Aaron Judge, but read the room. He had the issue with his elbow. You want to get him off the IL and you want to get him back with the team and back, fine. I can't argue that. But to say, it was the whole thing with, benching Stanton over Judge, they were having a big problem with. That kind of had me scratching my head a little bit. Like, is this where we're at as fans? Where, we're crying for Judge to be sat down for a hot Stanton. Meanwhile, a couple of days before that, they're all screaming, we need to get Judge back here to get some, some offense back. So it was I think that was one of those, maybe it was another situation for Boone. But sometimes I think the fans,
look,
Stanton was the only offense, like you said, Stanton and Bellinger are the only offense we have right now.
If you want to look at the hot bats, I mean, Grisham's still swinging the bat well. Anthony Volpe's actually been swinging the bat better. I don't want to say well, but he's swinging the bat a lot better lately. Bellinger's actually cooled off a little bit lately. Stanton's been boiling hot. So, yeah, you need him in the lineup. At the same time, you're not going to sit Aaron Judge if he's activated because then they'd say, how the hell do you sit Aaron Judge? They should have just waited until he can throw, and then you would figure it out when he comes back. Slater getting hurt made it easy to activate Judge, but still, there's some people that think Giancarlo Stanton should be cut. Some idiots. So sometimes maybe don't listen to what some of the people are saying on Twitter and just, because you're not going to get
a healthy Stanton. This is in Stanton with 2 injured elbows, and he's got an 880 plus OPS, and he's got 10 homers in like 30 games. He's been on fire.
Yeah,
he's been mashing, and I know that everyone's going to be going mad at him because he can't run and that, but he mashed that liner. Unfortunately, it was really well fielded, and it was a double play process the game. But I mean, I know that I can run faster than Stanton and probably beat him. I could probably lap him twice before he'd even get to first base, and I'm not even an athlete, so that's how slow he is. But
come on, I've seen you run for those trains. You got some speed.
I got a little bit of speed in me, but dude, that guy is so fucking slow. It's crazy, but he's vital to this lineup. He's an absolute machine. And he's still got the best exit velo in the majors. Yep. Guy's an absolute monster. You need to have him in the lineup, and he's been on fire. But the thing is, the Yankees don't believe in hot. It's their big thing. They don't believe in hot. If you're playing well, we'll cool you down. If you're playing like shit, we're going to play you every single day. That's just what Aaron Boone and the Yankees do with Mike Fishman. Oh, that boy, Mike Fishman. That's another one.
All right, so we have about 10 minutes left in the show. I think we should rightfully just give the end of the show all to the chat, and go through some of these comments and give our reactions and responses because they have been on fire for since even before we started. So I want to find. Let's go right to the beginning. We have a few of them. and I want to get to because we have actually some new people in the chat.
Yeah, like Itchy Nuts. That's one of the best names.
Yeah,
I've ever
that's
seen.
oh my god. They called Italian pizza just I know they're two different things, but he might have taken over the YouTube name right now. Well, we got Miguel. Miguel, welcome to the Chronicles. Great to see you in the chat with us. He goes, what's up, fellas? The narrative right now is to DFA Williams. What do we think of that?
They should have traded him.
They should have traded him.
Yeah.
It was a seller's market. Relief pitchers were flying left and right all day, even before the deadline. I know he hasn't been good this year. He's been terrible this year. You could have gotten something for him. You could have recouped. This is exactly what Donald said. You could have gotten some assets back that you had to give up to add to the bullpen. Bednar and Doval and maybe even Bird will help us next year. Williams won't. Why didn't you trade him? Instead, they doubled down on him being the closer despite his numbers being atrocious. That's part of the problem. You acquired 2 different closers. You have 3 other closing options in your bullpen, and you stuck with the worst one. Add that to the list of a million problems that the Yankees have had in the Aaron Boone era.
And then you had to, in order to make all these moves happen, in order to keep Williams and pacify him, you had to DFA Brubaker, and then you've had to send down De Los Santos, even though he was on fire. Now you've called him back up again. It's musical chairs in the bullpen. We've actually almost got too many bullpen arms now. Williams was actually the ideal candidate to trade. As you say, it was a seller's market. Bullpen arms were never this expensive, like ever. I can't remember bullpen arms ever being this expensive.
Probably
we could have gotten something for Williams, but the Yankees don't have a philosophy, and that's what I keep screaming. They don't have a philosophy. They just take it from one deadline to the next, one deadline to the next, one deadline to the next, without really having any foresight. They know they're not going to pick up Williams. They know they're going to let him go. They know they're not going to offer him a qualifying offer. He's gone. You know it. The guy is cooked, right? He's completely cooked, right? I think he's going to be great in the National League somewhere next year. He's going to be back to his own old self. But in New York, it ain't working for him. Should have traded him. Get some prospects back, which probably would have been the smart call. It was a smart call to buy and sell. That's why I kept saying all the way through, I didn't want to give up all our top prospects or a bunch of our prospects for something that is so fundamentally broken. And that's where we are right now. We are fundamentally broken because look at our record since the deadline, even though it was a successful deadline. 0-5. And it's not because of the bullpen moves. It was because we're fundamentally broken from the very, very top. Should have traded Williams.
Yeah, it was the mark. Like we said, the market was there to do it. And you could have replenished your farm system or gotten some more. You could have done a little more if we could have been if they had the smarts to move on from Williams. I understand. Like my biggest thing, I never want to take away from an area of need because we did need to revamp the bullpen a little bit. But if you're able to replace Williams with either Bednar or Doval
or Weaver,
then it's almost like a 2-for-1. You know what I mean?
They did this already, though. They had to replace Williams already once this season. Yeah. Doing it twice is almost unheard of. They didn't even replace Clay Holmes twice in a season as a closer. And Clay, you know what's crazy? I think we can all agree that right now we would rather have 2024 Clay Holmes than 2025 Devin Williams.
I never want to even hear Clay Holmes' name.
But that's how bad Devin Williams has been. So why didn't you get rid of him when you could have? You had every excuse to do it. You don't acquire 3 bullpen arms and then be like, we're going to keep the worst one in the most important spot.
That's just catering to his feelings. I don't think it's anything to do with winning. It's crazy. NFE says, I'm happy Donald's saying that playing in New York's hard. Some folks don't think so, and I think it's a myth. Where are we on that? What I'll say about that is I don't know if the Yankees culture really is that difficult anymore, because really the culture is just vibing with Boone. I saw that comment on Twitter, and I completely agree with it. I think it's just vibing with Boone. So I don't think it's that difficult. the culture, because the Yankees don't have a winning culture anymore. The thing that made New York so difficult is the demands to win every single day. And if you don't win every day, then you're going to get fired or going to get serious shit. That doesn't exist anymore. In fact, you're not loved more until you start losing 5 games in a row, which what the Yankees are right now, and it's all vibes with Boone. But I think I don't know what it is playing about New Yorkers playing so hard. The pinstripes are heavy. I think it's the historical, like the historic nature of the Yankees, and I think maybe the fact that fans are so in tune, fans are so invested every single pitch, every single night, every single out, and the fact that wherever you play, it's going to be full of Yankee fans everywhere you go. And then the media, even though the media is very soft now, the media is still asking you questions every single day, and that doesn't exist anywhere else apart from maybe Boston and LA. So I think there's probably that is, but it just seems to be that Williams is just not happy. What did he say? He actually blamed the Yankees for the way that they were calling him earlier, and so he started calling his own games. I don't know if you picked up on that. Yeah. I just think that he's just not happy. I just don't think he likes it here, and it happens. What do you guys think?
They already changed. I know it wasn't specifically to him, but he was at the forefront when we acquired him. That pushed the Yankees to change the facial hair policy that was standing for so long.
Right.
How much more do you want them to cater to him for him? And he still wants to bitch and moan? Go F yourself. You go play on another team next year.
He's not even really bitching and moaning anymore. He's kind of like admitting defeat. He's admitting that he's been bad. He's trying to like scream out for help almost, and the Yankees are kind of like, no, keep doing what you're doing. You'll be fine. And he's kind of like, I'm not. Things aren't working. And they're like, no, it is. So it's kind of like he's at least trying to tell you that something's not right here, and Aaron Boone is like, nah, he's in a good spot. And so it's like, you tell me where the problem lies. Is Devin Williams a problem? Yes, but has he been the problem? No. He's being you saw it earlier when Weaver was closing well, Williams was fine in the 8th inning. And then really Weaver got hurt because Aaron Boone got him hurt, so they had to go back to Williams. But then when Weaver came back and Williams was still kind of on and off, they didn't make the change. Then you go get 2 closers and you still don't make the change. So tell me where common denominator in all this is. The bubble blower. So that's what we have.
Well, if you notice in that first game, they actually after the deadline, they did not go to Williams. They went to Bird, Duvall, Bednar, so.
That's the game they should have went to Williams, because you're getting those guys immediately. They're just like Jake Bird tried to tell you, I had to take a red eye to get here. I'm exhausted, and then, okay, he blows it. Then let's go to Bednar. He just got here. He blows it. Doval, go ahead. It's your turn to blow it. And they all blew it, and you don't sit. That's a historical blow of a game right there. All 4 of your acquisitions in the matter of like 15 minutes just blew it. That doesn't happen.
But that's where Boone just puts himself further in a hole with us as fans. Because prior to that game, when they asked him about the new acquisitions and how it was going to affect the back of the bullpen, he said, Williams is still my closer. We're going to fit these guys around it.
Right. Catering to feelings.
Right? And then they don't put Williams in the game. So, Boone.
They let Doval close.
So, Boone, what do you want us to believe from you now? Because you don't even stand by what you just said it a couple hours ago. You already went against what you said.
I think he forgets.
But you want your players to stand by every word and every instruction, because you're going to change your mind anyway. That's why he lost the room. I want to bring up, and I say that to bring up the next comment, because we're getting short on time, and I want to, especially some of the new guys that are popping in, and we've already given a lot of praise to his YouTube handle. So Itchy Nuts is saying, good morning, guys. I agree. Where is Hal Steinbrenner? He is on record saying the only way he would fire Boone is if he lost the team. It's pretty clear he has.
Preach!
Preach, itchy nuts. Preach.
Yeah.
I know we're trying to sound professional, but the fact that you have to say itchy nuts here says.
Oh,
Here's another. I think we got
just
another
reading the
new.
board.
Jason? Is it Jason Solo? I like that name. One final comment here. Far too long now, Cashman has felt like a front office baseball version of an institution, too entrenched to be audited. I lost the comment. Where is it? And too big to fail to be fixed. To be fired, I'm sorry. Hal has to see the light and make a needed change. Yep. I agree with that completely, Jason.
Well said.
Yeah.
Are you guys on a just off topic? Are you guys on a time thing? Because I came in 5 minutes late, so I could probably work another 5 minutes if you guys need to go off.
I unfortunately do have to run, but if you guys want to keep it going, by all means, keep it
we
going.
can stretch it. I can stretch it a little bit, but because I do want to. There are so many good comments to get to.
Yeah,
And I feel like they deserve a little extra time.
Well, I will leave you guys to that. Thank you to everybody for being with us. A big 70 people in this chat, 70 plus. It's been awesome. And thank you to all the new people that subbed up. I think we got like 6 new subscribers today. So every single one of you, especially Itchy Nuts, thank you. And we'll see you all later on. Go Yanks. We still have to say that. Go Yanks.
Salute, salute, salute. Let's comment here. Friday Johns. I honestly think they're done. Salvage this year. Focus on next. That's kind of where I'm at.
We were debating that before the deadline even came into play.
Yeah.
Of what to do.
That's kind of where I'm at. I actually think that there is a nucleus here. There is something to be worked with. There is talent here. We finally got talent in the building. We finally have a bullpen. We finally have a bench. I think the lineup with some tweaks could be a force. And the rotation with Garrett Cole heading it next year, along with a healthy Luis Gil, and then Max Fried as well. That's a really good team. The talent is there next year. But fundamental changes need to be made, and it starts with the top.
But
now, Brian Cashman built this thing, so you probably want to give him one more year since this is a team that he's built. But they need a new manager. They need a new voice. They absolutely need a new voice. And if Aaron Boone is leading this nonsense next year, then everything's going to be the same. Nothing's going to change until Aaron Boone is gone. I promise you, nothing is going to change because the evidence is already there. This is a talented team, and we're winless with it. Right. Last season, he had Juan Soto having a career year, with Aaron Judge also having nearly a career year. Then you had Garrett Cole, and they still fumbled the bag in the World Series and embarrassed themselves. This is Aaron Boone. It's been going on every single year. You go right back to when he started in 2018. His moves were the reason why the Yankees got embarrassed by the Red Sox in 2018 in his first year as a manager. But you're like, oh, it's his first year as manager. Maybe we'll just give him a break, right? Okay. Well, what happened in 2019? Nothing. What happened in 2020?
Nothing that better.
Nothing that much better. What happened in 2020? Didn't get any better. 2021, they barely made the playoffs, snuck in, embarrassed themselves again. This is what they've been doing. It's been going on and on and on. And then they got swept in the ALCS. Then they got embarrassed by the Red Sox in a wild card game. All these things, it's been going on and on every single year. It's the same shit. It's the same shit on repeat. It's been going on since 2018. Nothing is going to change until something changes. It's like the definition of insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. You have to change something up. Now, you need to change this coaching staff up because a lot of these guys are just like, oh, I'll be fine. I'll be around the corner. No, you got to change shit up. You look at Aaron Boone, he looks defeated right now. Honestly, if they lose today, he should be fired in the off day. He should have been fired after the Marlins series. Let's be honest. but he should definitely be fired after today if they lose. But they won't because they don't take any responsibility. But they absolutely, whatever happens, I still think the Yankees will make the playoffs in the wild card. They will not win the division. They might get the first or second wild card, right? Because our schedule.
They might get the second or third. I don't think they get in the first.
Maybe the third. Who knows? Our schedule is very soft, right?
No,
They'll make
well,
it, but they're going to get embarrassed in the playoffs. They will. And he still needs to be fired. There needs to be some accountability here, and I'm sick and I'm tired of watching this. It's the same shit for 7 years. I'm done.
No, I see. I don't think it's good. Like they keep saying it's going to be a soft schedule. Every team that's been struggling, we fixed them by playing against them. So what's to say these teams that might be out of it, they're still, they're going to want to play for something, and it's not going to get any easier in the next for the rest of the week. Because as Bruce is saying, goes after Texas is Houston. It's going to be a rough stretch if they lose today.
Oh
Like,
boy,
we could
The
possibly
Yankees are
get
gonna
swept.
kick our ass.
We can easily get swept 3 series in a row. Is there any evidence to show you that they can't? Is there any evidence to show you they can win? They can win against Houston after they've been revitalized.
They're going to lose the Astros series for sure. Like that's a certainty.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't see where they could. Oh, it's a soft schedule. They have the softest schedule. Not the way they're playing.
Oh, that's true. They played
The
down
other
to
team, every other team that's struggling and trying to fight for a playoff spot, they're like this. Oh, Yankees are coming. Like that.
True.
We have fixed. We've got what Donald. What did I say? Do not when we first time we played Boston. Don't let them feel like they're still in it.
Right.
Look at the run they've gone on. And you know what? Every Boston fan that's cheering and clapping and applauding, and celebrating our demise, you earned it. Because the Yankees only did it to themselves.
You're right. Do you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because that was honestly, I felt that series changed.
That was it. That was it. That fucked the whole year up.
Yep. For me, that changed the entire season because at that point, we were ahead in the division, but it was kind of perilously close a little bit because the Red Sox were kind of thereabouts, right? You had to win that series against the Red Sox to end the Red Sox season and secure our spot.
Then all you got to do is worry about the Blue Jays.
Exactly. And we were in a good spot at that point. But what they did was have one of the worst series of Aaron Boone's tenure, where guys were getting thrown off in the base paths and making some of the craziest mistakes you'll ever see. Well, until recently. But that's what started this whole thing. And they got swept. The Red Sox handed us our ass. And the Red Sox have been on fire since. And the Yankees have been on a losing streak since. An incredible losing streak. But Aaron Boone had the opportunity even after that series to nip it in the bud. He called a meeting, right? And whenever Aaron Boone calls a meeting, you should laugh because no one takes him seriously. And what did Aaron Boone say in this meeting? You guys are the best team in baseball. Don't be bothered by this. It's just fine. I know you guys. It's fine. Don't be bothered. You're going to be great. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. That's what he said after we lost 15 to 20 games. Right? You guys are the best, right? And how did it work? Did that work? No. They've kept on losing ever since. He had the opportunity to nip it in the bud right then and there, but he didn't take it. That was the point where he needed to hold guys accountable. If he set the tone in the locker room there after we lost 15 to 20, I've lost count, but it was after that Red Sox series and things started to plummet. If he took that opportunity then and there and really toughened up with those fuckers, right? Held them to some kind of responsibility and account, right? Then I don't think we would be where we are at now. But he just chose to, again, be soft and be like, everything's great. Woo! It's fine. We're the best. And then ever since then, we're now in third place and we're half a game ahead in a wild card. And after today, we're going to be out of the playoffs altogether. And it all starts with Aaron Boone because he doesn't set any fucking tone.
The other sad part is remember the early season predictions that they predicted the Yankees a fourth place team. We all laughed it off, going, "Do these people pay attention? Have they looked at the American League? Have they? It's right now. It's a possibility. The Rays aren't pushed over either. But
I was called negative because I said I had us winning like 86 games this year.
Yeah, you were pretty much you weren't too high on this team. But if you look at but it's the leadership. It's not the roster itself. You look at the players on this roster; they are easily a 100-win team if they're run properly.
Yeah, I think so. There's
I don't think that's an exaggerated statement because we have players, and I think the biggest downfall, and we're going to wrap this up in a minute, but I think the biggest downfall, what's going on, Fritz? I haven't seen you in a while, is when Cole went down, it just seemed like it deflated everything. It just seems like they were kind of chasing themselves, and they got off to a hot start. But I think it's not so much. It started with Cole, and then with Hill going, we had to reshape. We had to use some unexpected guys for our rotation.
Maybe, but I honestly think it was the Red Sox series, bro. I think you were right the first time. I think that's when things started to change because we were winning tons of games and we were looking very, very good. It was that Red Sox series that just changed everything because it gave the Red Sox hope and all the while added doubt to our season. And we've not been able to recover from then. And then, as I've pointed out, Boone had the opportunity to talk to his players, give them some accountability. He chose not to. And then the losing streak has continued and it's gotten bigger and snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. Aaron Boone does not read a room. He does not read what is going on in front of him. He just has no vision or foresight in that regard. That's why he's a bad manager. Let's see if we can get any more comments in before we got to go. Rivera, another new comment. Aaron Boone should resign, become Major League Players Union delegate because he's not a management type of guy. It's a great point.
No, I wouldn't want him as my union manager.
Yep.
Don't speak for me.
All right, okay.
No.
We'll be your union manager, bro. Be baseball's union manager. That's okay.
No. I'm going to be the next commissioner.
Oh, are you? Oh. Well, if you're the next commissioner, could you please fire Aaron Boone?
Oh my God.
Welkin says, "Watch Spencer Jones become another Peraza." But that again,
don't even say this. Don't even utter those words. Let's not speak that to existence, please.
But that's what it speaks to regarding Brian Cashman because he doesn't read prospects at all.
Oh,
he traded our best catcher to the Marlins. Peraza had opportunity to be traded for really good players, really good freaking players. He passed up on all of it, and now you traded Peraza away for nothing. He doesn't know what to do with prospects.
One more outburst, and then we got to sign off. But I got to get Donald's reaction to this because he was traveling. But after the deadline, Cashman was on with Evan and Tiki on the fan.
Okay. Uh-oh.
And when they asked him, only because of this comment from Jones, it reminded me of it. When they asked him if there was any thought of bringing Jones up, Cashman's response was he wasn't even on his radar. So this is your untouchable prospect, but he's not on your radar. That's why I don't think they listen to themselves, Donald. I want to get mad and kick and scream and just be, and just go nuts, but I've already done that twice already today, and I think it's just hysterical that the GM refuses to trade this guy, but he's not on your radar. I would have followed up with the question, well, why isn't he not on your radar?
That's a great point.
If he's not on your radar, why don't you trade him? If he's not on your radar, trade him.
Got last two comments here. We're gonna leave Bruce Lee's comment out to end on a high, on a comedy note. But Donald, who are you replacing Boone with? That's going to be a yes man. I mean, I know you get that. There's a lot of comments in that regard around Twitter. The truth is, you kind of said it yourself, though. Why does it matter if it's going to be another yes man? Well, the philosophy needs to be changed. They need to change that philosophy, right? They need to.
Well, it's a shape up or ship out mentality. Change of.
But right now, is Brad Ausmus really going to be worse than Aaron Boone? Aaron Boone has lost what's left of this locker room.
Yeah.
But they need to go through a process. They need to hire a proper manager with managerial experience, or somebody, even an assistant. Because, by the way, when they hired Aaron Boone's only experience was talking on ESPN. He had absolutely no coaching experience whatsoever. You let Rob Thompson go. Rob Thompson's now a very good Phillies manager. Very good. That was a criminal decision from Brian Cashman. It is time for change. I am not going to give Aaron Boone a break. Just go, oh, well, this is going to be a yes man. Who knows? Maybe someone with a little bit more balls would be better. Let's go with Bruce Lee's comment. This is funny. What walkout song do you want for Devin Williams?
A walkout song?
Yeah, a walkout song for Devin Williams, which perfectly encapsulates Devin Williams. Uncle Tats.
That's a great question.
That's a great.
I wish I had seen that in the scroll prior, so I had time to even contemplate it.
I know, right?
Skid Row's "Get the Fuck Out."
Get the fuck out.
Because the main part of the song is "This party's over," so get the fuck out. You've had your fun, now get out of it. Get out.
Get the fuck out. That's a good one.
Actually, you know what? I would save that for everybody that's pissed me off in this episode. Like Boone, Cashman. If I'm Hal Steinbrenner, I'm walking through like going crazy and just going, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. Jonathan thinks that's funny.
All right, let's think of, is there any other ones I can think of? Because that was a great one.
Jason's got one. Don't go away, man. Just go away.
Which one?
The Motley Crue song. Don't go away, mad. Just go away.
What about Walk by Pantera? Because that's all Williams does these days.
No, I would not. No, I look, Pantera is my favorite band of all time. I don't want that group associated with Williams. I'm not ruining it for myself.
I know, but it's perfect for him.
It is perfect. It is a good one though.
Or how about "Fuck You" by Damage Plan?
I just went from Luca. Loser by Beck.
Yes. That's a good one.
All right, we're gonna Luca. We're closing it with you, buddy. That is we are going to wrap things up. This. You know what? It's good that we had this little laugh session right at the end.
And say bye.
If you're still watching, drop in the comments. And
I'm a loser, baby.
Yeah,
you kill me.
And we want to see what else you guys have to say as far as the songs that should be the walkout. But
yes,
we do hope everybody did enjoy the show
under our YouTube channel. Put comments in.
Yep. So
And
continue the
we'll,
comments
yeah,
as we get offline, and make sure you also hit that sub button so you can join the chat. Yeah, oops, I
Tyler
did it
Talbot.
again.
Oops, I did it again. That's a good one. That's a good one.
So with that, hope everybody does enjoy the rest of their day. Don't let the bad Yankees ruin your chance to have a good laugh at their expense, as we just had. It was the perfect remedy for any bad day. A good laugh will help. So glad that you guys hung out this long as we went into extra innings today. But with that, hope you do like this show. Hit that like button if you did. Hit that sub button if you want to join the chat and share this out and help the community and the family grow. So with that, make sure you always wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.